It keeps. I know. It's turning off. Now this is a song I can get behind. Nobody ever sits by me because they don't want to be on camera. I mean, we're going to shoot twice over there anyway. Oh, there's John Cannon next to Bird.
Their first hockey game ever.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome. Happy to have you. Nice.
Oh, you're the commenter. I heard you. When we're hanging out.
I try to get Dave to do it, but Dave won't do it anymore.
You're good.
It's like Mighty Ducks 3 in here where they're playing in the fog of the rink. Yeah. Nobody cares. Oh, I forgot to put the focus on. Getting ready to start a game against Windy City Storm. We're going to start out with Velasquez, Reynolds, and Paulo with Revicki and Campbell. Follow to take the draw. Squares up, and we're on the way. Windy City controls the first face-off, goes D to D, and chips it into the zone. Rubicki battling on the backboard. Puck comes off over to Campbell. Campbell up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas gets through some traffic, but the puck gets caught up in the official's feet. Pass over to Rubicki. Rubicki misses Reynolds, and no icing called. Pulauskas battling on the backboard. Puck comes up to Windy City on the near board. Rubicki keeps it in. It goes in deep. Pulauskas there. Gets the puck off of the board. Centers. Puck gets away to Campbell. Campbell down for Pulauskas. Pulauskas working off in the corner. Chips it back up to Campbell. Campbell back down to Nietzsche. Nietzsche's come in on a change. Pulauskas was backdoor. Circles. Back up to Rubicki. Rubicki D to D over to Campbell. Bounces off the boards. Campbell puts it in deep. Rubicki and Pulauskas go for a change. Nietzsche giving some pressure. Storm get it out of the zone. Only to carry back in. Chip across. Letcher coming in hard. Chalicki now on as well. Miller and Onak at D. Cutting in net today. 16:47 to go. Still 0-0. Letcher to Nietzsche through the neutral zone. Nietzsche carries in over to Letcher. Letcher centering. Just misses. Nietzsche goes over to the near board. Chalicki and Nietzsche battling. Now puck in the corner comes around and across to the far board for Letcher. Storm control it off of the board and circle looking for him. Oh, difficult pass. Almost goes on net. Storm take it in through the neutral zone. Kruger is on. Cutting. Plays it for Onak. Onak off of the board over to Letcher. Letcher into the neutral zone. Chalicki's got a loose puck. He gets there first. Carter's come on. Chalicki battling out for the corner. Gets it taken away by Storm, and they go back the other way. Puck off of Chris Gintis. Good stick. Gets it to Carter. Brown comes on for Chalicki. Carter through the neutral zone. Avoids contact. Gets it to Kruger. Kruger tries to go cross ice for Brown. Intercepted by the Storm. Storm back through the neutral zone. Just over the blue line, and they dump it into the corner. Gintis working there. Puck comes out to Carter. Carter off of the board. Chips it to the neutral zone. Storm go D to D. Brown comes in for pressure. Off of the near board. Puck bounces. Kushkowski gets it and sends it in. Brown goes in on the forecheck with Kushkowski into the corner. Storm put it into the backboard and around. Makes its way to Rubicki. Rubicki for Brown. Misses Brown, but goes into the zone. Bergeron's now on, and Credidio. Brown comes off. Puck hits the Storm player, goes in the corner. Bergeron is there. Bergeron and Kushkowski now working on the backboard. Credidio comes over to help on the near board. Puck comes free to Rubicki. Rubicki tries to get a quick shot on, intercepted by the Storm, and back into the neutral zone. Storm puck into the Fury zone. Rubicki sends it across to Credidio. Credidio sends it into the neutral zone. Kushkowski changes, and Paulo comes on. Cutting. Has a shot go on, gets in his glove, and he decides to hold on to it. 14:35 to go, still 0-0. Reynolds and Pulauskas join Paulo. Miller and Onak at D. Puck one back to Onak. Onak hard off of the glass and down. It's going to go too far. That'll be an icing. Reynolds wins that puck back. Now over to Miller. Miller gets it to Paulo. Paulo chips off the board looking for Reynolds. Storm keep it in. Goes back down to Onak in the corner. Reynolds pulls it off of the board, but Storm take it away and go up to their D. Shot into Cutting and no rebound. $14-13 to go in the first. Still 0-0. Paolo to take this draw. Drop. Push back to the D. Deflected on Cutting's pad and over to the corner. Puck gets back behind Cutting. Makes its way to Pulauskas in the corner. Reynolds now circling. Sidesteps the guy, gets taken down. And we got our first penalty of the game for a trip. So good draw. And we'll go on the power play. We'll send out Nietzsche, Chalicki, Letcher, Prisgintis, and Rybicki. $13.52 to go. Drop. Won by Storm, but turnover to Chalicki and shot by Letcher. It goes high. Puck now cleared out of the zone back to Rybicki. Rybicki coming from behind Cutting. Up to Prisgintis. Prisgintis gets some pressure. Puck gets knocked away and in some feet. Letcher swings it around for Rybicki. Rybicki in the corner. Pushes it back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis now behind Cutting. Up to Letcher. Letcher back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis up for Chalicki, misses, and that's an icing. We're going to change. Pulauskas, Reynolds, and Paulo come back on the ice with Onak and Campbell. Reynolds wins that faceoff back, goes into the corner, nobody there. Reynolds able to pull it out from the skates of the Storm player. Puck up for Campbell, misses, and Storm sends it back in. Cutting, slows it down, puts it behind the neck for Onak. Onak gets it knocked away over to Paulo. Paulo goes cross ice for Pulauskas. Pulauskas trying to pass it, gets hit back into the Fury zone. Paulo now working through the zone, puts it back for Campbell. Campbell up to Onak. Onak brings it into the zone, centers for Paulo, chips off of Paulo and into the backboard. Reynolds and Pulauskas battling. Pulauskas takes a little bit of a cross check, goes down. Storm now in the corner. Work it out. Chips. And we got a stoppage. Looks like everybody's going here. So Reynolds is gonna go. And I think coincidentals. So both captains battling. Reynolds and Dubsky for Storm. 29 seconds remaining. Nietzsche, Letcher, Chalicki with Prisgintis and Rybicki come back out for the remaining 29 seconds of the power play. Puck dug out by Chalicki, gets it over to Letcher. Letcher working off the sideboard. Gets the puck up to Prisgintis. That definitely goes out. Late call by the official who wasn't where he was supposed to be. Neutral zone face-off. Letcher on the far wide side. Nietzsche to take the face-off. Chalicki on the right side. Storm win it and send it back down. Puck goes behind Cutting. Prisgintis chips it over for Rybicki. Bounces over his stick. Storm, 10 seconds to go on the kill here. Have control. Go D to D over to the near board and up to clear. Cutting slows it down. Sends it up the glass. Misses Nietzsche. And that's an icing. So power play's over. We'll get a line change. Kruger, Carter, and Brown come out. Miller and Onak at D. 11:48 to go in the first, still 0-0. Kruger pushes that puck to the corner. Miller roofs it, which is easy to do. It's pretty low ceiling here. Hits off of a metal bar and then into the ceiling. So we'll start over. Puck to the corner. Miller off of the glass and up for Carter. Bounces past the Storm player too. Carter muscling it through onto the corner. Kruger comes over to help. Puck across. Brown's going to get there into the sideboard. Storm take it away and go into the neutral zone. Good stick by Kruger. Back into the neutral zone. Kruger through the middle. Puck gets knocked away off of a skate and into the corner. Kruger and Brown going for the forecheck. Storm try to clear it. Onak keeps it in and goes wide over to the near board. Kruger pushing the puck back down. Storm circling and trying to get zone entry. Puck goes wide. Shot off of the stick of cutting in behind. Carter working in the back with Miller. Puck over to Kruger and tied up again. Carter gets it and puts it into the neutral zone. Brown comes in to give some pressure. Storm dump and get a change. Krzyzkowski comes on. Onak gets his puck picked. It's a 3-on-0 shot. And they beat Cutting, Walker's side. So 10:30 to go. It's 1-0 Windy City. Krzyzkowski for the draw with Bergeron and Credidio. Brzgintis and Aldridge at D. Brzgintis gets it across and into the zone. Credidio knocks it away. Krzyzkowski quick shot bounces off the goaltender covered. Quick change, and it is Reynolds, Pulauskas, Paulo with Aldridge and Brzgintis. Face off, one over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas back to Aldridge, back down to Reynolds. Reynolds puts it down for Paulo. Paulo working off of the backboard, tries to get it to Pulauskas, who does. Pulauskas nifty move. Puck gets lost in his skates, however. Gets it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds knocked away back over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas drives the net, gets a shot on, it goes behind. Puck over into the corner. Pulauskas again knocks the puck away, and he's into the corner. Puck comes free to Paulo. Paulo now in the corner. Gets pinned, trying to battle it. Reynolds comes over to help. Windy City gets it out and into the neutral zone. Offsides. Oh, no call. Puck goes in over to the corner. Windy City battling against Aldridge. Puck now free. Krzyzkowski comes over to help. Krzyzkowski flips the puck out. Windy City gets it, hits off of Brzgintis' skate. Pulauskas battling. Pulauskas carry across and into the zone. Krzyzkowski's come on for Paulo, knocks that puck back over to Pulauskas. Puck now still loose. Windy City finally gets control of it and into the neutral zone. Carry it forward. Rybicki pushes it wide. Centering pass. Good stick lift by Campbell. Puck still in control of Windy City. Hits Rybicki. Rybicki into the corner with Krzyzkowski. Credidio on the sideboard. Bergeron out as well. Puck goes across the crease over to Burge. Burge up the board. Gets taken down, just tackled. That's a penalty for sure, but no call. We only have 3 officials, so and the lead official is a kid. Puck goes high and off the blocker. Nietzsche pins that puck in the corner. Credidio tries to dig it out, gets it up to Campbell. Campbell walks the line, gets a shot, it's blocked. Puck back over to Credidio. Credidio sends it down deep. Puck gets past Nietzsche to Miller. Miller takes a hit but gets the puck in deep again. Storm get the puck out over to Letcher, hits Letcher's stick, and Storm go for a change. Campbell behind the net gets the puck over to Miller. Miller sends it down, and Credidio goes for a change. So Letcher, Chilicki, and Nietzsche. Puck comes off of the board. Storm carry in. Shot goes wide over to Chilicki on the far board. Chilicki carrying forward over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets his puck knocked away from him as he tries to enter the zone. Storm back the other way. Shot bounces into Cutting's chest. Letcher takes a little umbrage with a late hit on Cutting. Kruger, Brown, and Carter join Miller and Onak on the ice. Puck to the corner, now behind Cutting. Storm in control, get it up to the point. Carter comes out to challenge. Puck tries to get past Kruger, good stick. Puck in front, still loose, knocked aside on the side of Cutting. Cutting covers. 7 minutes to go, 1-0 Windy. We'll get a line change. Face-off controlled by Fury. Aldridge sends it around, bounces past Hollow over to Windy City. Windy City goes cross ice, sends it in hard. Puck goes around and out of play. Reynolds takes this draw. Puck gets caught up in the official skates. Storm send it into the back, Cutting. Aldridge and Prithkins is battling on the backboard. Puck comes free up to the sideboard. Gets past Belauskas and shot on Cutting. Cutting save. Puck to the backboard and Fury clear it. Belauskas battling. Storm still with the puck, carry back into their own zone and through the neutral zone. Try to get past Hollow and Aldridge. Aldridge with a good stick knocks the puck up to Reynolds. Reynolds trying to walk through 2 guys. Gets knocked away. Storm back the other way. Come into the zone with speed. Go wide. Good job by Rubicki to get the puck knocked away from the player. Puck to Campbell. Campbell to Paulo. Paulo tries to get it across. It's intercepted by Storm. Puck now deep into the corner. Bergeron is out with Kishkowski. Credidio comes on as well. Pass across ice. Misses a couple players, but Storm slow it down. Now through the neutral zone and in. Nobody with him, so he takes it up the sideboard. Now centering pass. And a backhand shot. Puck in front. Knocked away by Rubicki. Over to Credidio. Credidio takes a hit, but gets the puck back to Rubicki. Rubicki cross ice for Campbell. Campbell up for Kishkowski. Kishkowski chips it forward. It goes into the zone. Credidio gets there. Tries to knock the puck away. Storm back in control into the neutral zone. Carrying forward. Good job by Onak to slow down the puck carrier. Gets it back behind Cutting over to Miller. Miller to Kushkowski, knocked away from Kushkowski, back in. Credidio now gets that pass from Bergeron, carries the puck in, and waits for space. Letcher coming on for Bergeron. Puck cross ice to Miller. Miller up to Letcher to Onak. Onak trying to go cross for Chilicki. Puck gets knocked away. Chilicki now with the loose puck gets a shot blocked off of the back glass. Letcher is there. Chilicki helping. Nietzsche coming across to slow down the Storm player. Storm entering now past Aldridge. Shot on cutting in front. Letcher takes it away. Puck was behind Chilicki. He didn't see it. Storm send it back in. Now we got a hurt player down and cutting cover, so we'll get a whistle. 4:03 to go in the first. Still 1-0 Storm. Priskintis and Aldridge remain at D. Kruger, Carter, and Brown out for our forwards. Face off one over to Aldridge. He gets tied up. Storm kind of get in the way there. Priskintis chips it forward for Brown. Brown passes a little too far ahead for Carter. Puck in the neutral zone. And Storm go to D back into their own zone. Puck over to the side. Priskintis tips it. Puck bounces past cutting into the corner. Aldridge chips one aside. Brown gets in front of the guy cutting to the net. And Kruger and the Storm player knock the puck out of play. 3:32 to go. And we'll get a line change with Palauskas, Paulo, Reynolds, Rybicki, and Campbell. Paulo wins the faceoff ahead of him, gets a cross into the neutral zone. Storm send it back in, hits off of Reynolds' stick. Good steal by Paulo. Paulo now back the other way with Palauskas. Palauskas shot across the crease. Campbell keeps it in, sends it back down. Chips off of Palauskas' stick. Paulo, nice pass back to Palauskas. Cross for Reynolds. Reynolds stops it with his skate, but it goes into the corner. Paulo to Palauskas. Palauskas to Rybicki. Rybicki to Paulo. Paulo gets hooked. No call. Puck over to Rybicki in the neutral zone. Up to Paulo. Paulo for Reynolds. Reynolds, the nice stick. Knocks the puck down, carries it in. Cross ice pass makes its way over to Campbell. Campbell back down. Goes to Reynolds in the corner. Reynolds creates some space. Puck gets knocked away. Reynolds gets a little bit of a hit. Sends the puck in deep. Nietzsche is there. Storm. Bring it out. Letcher and Chilicki join Nietzsche. Onak ties up his man. Puck into the corner. Letcher tries to tie it up. Puck goes behind the net for Miller. Miller, with some speed through the neutral zone, carries in, gets it over to Chilicki. Chilicki back in front, gets deflected and over to the sideboard. Letcher harassing his man in the corner. Storm bring it up the far board, go across ice into the near board and through the neutral zone. Storm player loses an edge, but comes into the neutral zone. Nietzsche sends it across for Chilicki. Chilicki corrals it, gets a shot, goes high and wide and out of play. Minute 48 to go. We're going to go with Kushkowski, Credidio, and Bergeron. Onak and Miller will stay at D. Face off. Drop down, tied up by Kushkowski. Storm dig it out, send it over to the near board. Miller gets there. Storm flip it into the neutral zone. Good stick by Kushkowski, knocks that puck in the air. Onak gets a glove on it, but gets hit while he does it. Puck brought back into the zone. Bergeron was battling on the boards, came loose, and Storm back into the zone, and puck behind cutting. Puck sent into the neutral zone. Storm going back to the D, still working. Puck loose on the sideboard and cross ice. Aldridge is there, knocks the puck away, sends it back up and into the Storm territory. Storm tried to get that clear hits off of Bergeron's stick and covered. Kolauskas, Paulo, and Reynolds. Bergeron's going to stay out with this group. Paulo to take the draw. Face off won by Aldridge. Bergeron goes to the bench. Reynolds gets behind the D. The pass hits Reynolds, and we're going to call it offsides. Hit him in the ankle. Puck doesn't go all the way back down. .9 seconds to go in the first. Follow at the dot. Dropped and stuck in his feet. Reynolds comes in and helps pull it out. Sends it behind cutting and around for Pulauskas. Puck gets knocked over to Prusgintis. Prusgintis into the neutral zone. Long stick by Prusgintis. Hits it in. Takes a shot off of a pad. Take it back the other way for Windy City. Storm rushing into the zone. Prusgintis, good hustle, gets back. Puck back to Reynolds. Paulo into the zone now. Takes a shot, it's blocked, it goes up. And that'll be the end of the first period. Sorry about that short hiccup there. You can only be on this Wi-Fi for an hour, and then it pops back up asking you to reconnect. But nothing happened in that 10 seconds, and we're about to start the second period. This is a really sad song. Trying to lull the bench to sleep here from the Storm 16U boys that are in the box. We're going to start out the second period with Brown, Carter, and Kruger, Campbell, and Rubicki. Kruger ties up, puck comes loose and knocked back by Storm on their own net. Storm in the corner, knocked away by Brown and Kruger. Puck kind of meanders its way to Storm. Storm send it into the zone. Campbell knocks his guy into the boards. Puck comes free. Puck over to Brown now. Brown sends it in opposite corner for Carter. Carter gets to the corner. Storm there as well. Good stick by Kruger, but he takes a stumble. Puck back over to Kruger, put it in front and covered, bouncing off of either Carter or the Storm player and on net. 17:25 to go in the second. Michi, Letcher, and Chalicki come on the ice. Rubicki and Campbell at D. Puck in feet, gets knocked over to Chalicki, hits off of Chalicki's skate. Storm trying to send it out, kept in by Rubicki, taken away by Chalicki. Chalicki battling, gets the puck up to Campbell. Campbell puts it back down for Chalicki. Chalicki tries to send it over to Michi. Storm back with it, send it opposite ice. Bluffed down by Rubicki and sent into the zone. Storm in the corner, Letcher now taking him behind the net. Turnover, good job by Letcher to harass. Puck goes to Chalicki, couldn't get a shot off. It gets knocked aside. Campbell sends it back in deep. Storm has a guy. Rubicki is there, however. Rubicki carries it in front and over to Letcher. Letcher chips it in, goes over to the goaltender, and he plays it behind his net. Storm coming now through the middle of the ice into the neutral zone. Hits off of Credidio's stick and into the backboard. Storm goes for a change. Miller coming out, sends the puck up for Kushkowski. Gets knocked back. Miller is there, however, to tie the puck up. Kushkowski battling. Puck over to Onak. Onak through the middle of the ice and D for the Storm. Letcher, Kushkowski, and Credidio out for forwards right now. Puck over to Cutting. Onak plays it up to Credidio. Credidio cross ice for Letcher. Letcher sends it forward into the neutral zone. Storm back control. Bergeron joins his line mates now. Over to the far board, and center entry for the Storm gets knocked away. Credidio carrying it into the zone. Cross for Bergeron. A little too hard for Berge. Goes cross ice. Storm back the other way. Brzgintis, good stick. Puck gets knocked away. Brzgintis gets carried into the corner and still being harassed. And now finally we get a whistle as there is a fight. Brzgintis battling. Got his glove stuck in the helmet. Finally gets it free. Brzgintis was being held and had enough of it. And we're both being sent off the ice. So they're trying to figure out what's going on here. Send them both off the ice. I don't know if we're going to get penalties or they're just giving them misconduct. Storm coach trying to argue his case. The refs having none of it. Kind of a bold move for a young official. I wasn't expecting that. So they're going to have to figure out the score sheet. And the scorekeeper's like, you do it. Hands the iPad over to the lead official. Hopefully it's just a regular misconduct and not a game misconduct. I always feel it's a bad sign if you're the lead official and you have to come over to another official to figure out what you're calling. Oh. So now the scorekeeper's over at our bench trying to figure out what's going on. The officiating crew doesn't know that there's no scorekeeper. All right, so nobody in the box. I think both teams are trying to figure out what's going on. A puck into the corner for Storm. They try to take it hard out. Campbell gets in front of it, but gets knocked away. Looks like call an offsides, but the linesman got caught up with one of the players on the bench, so the main official had to blow the whistle. Face off, controlled by Fury. Pass to Pulauskas gets knocked back to Campbell. Campbell to Reynolds. Reynolds to Paulo. Puck now in the corner. Pulauskas takes it away. Pulauskas to Campbell. Campbell puts it in front for Paulo. Paulo to Reynolds. Reynolds, quick shot off of the pad. Puck over to the far board. Paulo and Reynolds both there. Reynolds takes it away, but stick gets knocked aside. Pulauskas comes in, does a pirouette, and puck to Onak, who sends it for Reynolds. Kruger now out with Carter. Brown's cross ice and puck on net and covered. So Brown yelling for that puck because there was nobody over there. Onak put it on, and that's all right. We still got an in-zone face-off. So Kruger, Carter, Brown, Miller, and Onak. .14:03 to go. Kruger wins that puck over to Onak. Onak carries it in. Takes a couple of hits, puck gets knocked away. Brown had an opportunity to get that puck. It bounces past him. Storm in the zone. Carter ties up a Storm player. He goes down, and good thing because that would have been a open shot on cutting. So icing is the call. I thought I heard it hit a stick, but must not have been a Storm stick. So Miller and Onak at D. Kruger to take the faceoff with Brown and Carter. Storm win that faceoff. Onak ties his man up, cutting, makes a save. I didn't see the hit. Storm player went down. Looked like he hit his head on the ice. I didn't see any head contact, though. So I'm not sure what the coach was talking about. He hit the ice, but I mean, that didn't look like anything else. I'd have to watch it back. Same group. Bouncing drop. Puck goes on cutting. He plays it to Campbell. Campbell up for Carter. Chip over for Kruger. Gets past him, and Storm send it back the other way. Cross ice. Pass. Knocked aside by Rebicki Brown. Passing to Carter's going to miss. And that'll go for an icing. 13-12 to go in the second. Beautiful language from a hockey mom. Always fun. Nietzsche is out now with Letcher and Chalicki. Puck out of play. Cheap shot on Letcher. Oh, it was cheap shot on Nietzsche. We definitely need to change out officials at the ice cut. Oh, trying to figure out what they're calling. Oh, I think it was number 3 that hit Nietzsche. Not sure. Or what? I'm not sure who it was. Oh, we're sending somebody in. All right, they're still trying to figure it out. I mean, the puck was already out of play when the hit was administered, so It was definitely a late hit. All right, so we're definitely going on the power play. We're just trying to figure out who's going in the box. They got more. But if the linesmen are going to keep making the calls, they need to change out the lead official. All right, so it was 10 Dubsky with the cheap shot, and they kicked him. So Dubsky is kicked, and we'll go on the power play with Paulo, Reynolds, Pulauskas, Onak, and Campbell. But we still don't have the scorekeeper. I think we're getting a 5. So 5-minute major for the cheap shot. And just a reminder to everybody out there, when we get a major penalty, we can keep scoring. The penalty will not come off. So big opportunity for Fury to get some goals here. Onak back down to Paulo. Paulo up the wall. Cross ice for Campbell. Campbell down for Reynolds. Reynolds puts it deep for Pulauskas. Storm get to it first. Campbell keeps it in, gets it over to Reynolds. Reynolds down Pulauskas. Pulauskas loses an edge. Storm get a hold of it. Good job by Paulo to knock it away. Storm sends it all the way down. Goes back behind Cutting. Cutting slows it down for Onak. Onak waiting for his guys to come through. Up the far board and leaves it for Paulo. Paulo through the neutral zone with speed over on the far board. Gets a little punch stop, tied up, puck and some feet pulled out by Pulauskas over to Reynolds. Reynolds shot goes wide over to Onak. Onak back down for Reynolds. Reynolds off of the board, comes into the middle of the ice. Shot goes wide and over to the near board. Reynolds gets it back. Reynolds cross for Onak. Onak walks it in to Reynolds. Reynolds tries to put one soft in, gets knocked aside, and Storm send it down onto Cutting. Cutting plays it off of the board over to Campbell, skips past him, and Storm send it back down. Campbell has to play that puck. 3:28 to go in the power play. Chalicki, Letcher, Nietzsche, Miller, and Rubicki for this power play. Storm, win, take a shot, goes off of Cutting's blocker into the corner. Rubicki goes cross ice for Chalicki, hits off of the lineman, and we got to tag back up. Puck sent all the way back down. Miller leaves it for Rubicki. Rubicki up the boards for Chalicki. Chalicki lifts the stick. It goes all the way down. Taken away from Nietzsche. Hits off of Chalicki's stick. Rubicki's got one on him. Back behind for Miller. Miller back to Rubicki. Rubicki sets up. Letcher circles. Miller goes across. Letcher now carrying forward. Cross ice for Miller. Miller into the zone. Centering pass. Goes cross for Chalicki. Chalicki to Campbell. Campbell back to Chalicki. Chalicki walks it in. Puck gets knocked away. Nietzsche trying to dig it out. 2:23 to go. Storm get it out and send it in. Onak pulls it off of the board. Cross for Campbell. Campbell to Letcher. Letcher to Onak. Onak gets it in the zone. Paulo is back out. Cross ice for Chalicki. Campbell gets a hold of it to Letcher. Letcher gets taken down. Campbell. Letcher sends it in. Reynolds is back on. And Pulauskas. Minute 46 to go. Storm clear again. Cutting plays it over for Campbell. Campbell leaves it for Onak. Onak in the corner. Puck makes its way to Pulauskas. Pulauskas back for Reynolds. Reynolds to Campbell. Campbell back for Reynolds. Doesn't quite get there. Storm have it again, minute 22 to go. Storm send it back down. Onak is there. Gets a rough ride into the boards. Campbell comes over to help. Campbell in the corner to Paulo. Paulo back to Campbell. Up to Reynolds. Reynolds stick bounces off. Storm send it back. Pulauskas goes for a change. Carter comes on. Rubicki comes on. Carter tries to make a move, does some nice puck protection, but knocked into the sideboards. Miller able to keep the puck in. Paulo gets taken down. Puck in Reynolds' feet. Kruger comes on. Puck knocked aside. 27 seconds to go on the power play. Rubicki behind the net, waiting for Kruger. Puck up to Kruger. Comes in. He's got Brown with him and Carter. Carter behind the net. Storm send it out of the zone. That's going to kill the rest of the power play. Puck over to Brown. Brown sends it back in. We tag up. Puck behind the net. Into the corner. Kruger's there. Kruger sends it back down deep. Puck bounces off of the boards. Chipped over to the near board. Miller comes down and keeps it. Puck over to Carter. Carter takes a cross check. Brown takes a cross check. And they do call the second cross check. Maybe they called the first cross check. I'm not sure. So we'll go back on the power play. Kushkowski, Reynolds, and Paulo with Onak and Campbell. Storm win the face-off, send it across ice. Campbell keeps it in. Chips it down for Kushkowski. Kushkowski down low for Paulo. Paulo to Reynolds. Reynolds back down to Paulo. Paulo to Kush. Kush gets a shot and covered. Good job by Paulo to get that puck to Kushkowski, who's just sitting in a soft spot, waiting for a pass, gets a quick shot, almost goes underneath the goaltender. Kushkowski takes the draw. Puck goes over to Paulo. Paulo gets tied up. Puck comes free to Kushkowski. Paulo dumps his guy. Paulo's getting some rough work down low. Still battling. Takes an elbow. Puck up to Onak. Onak puts it on net. Bounces. Deflected over to the far board. Puck bounces away from Campbell. And offsides. Minute 15 to go on the power play. 7 minutes in the second. Letcher, Chalicki, and Nietzsche come out. Puck knocked aside, goes into the zone. Miller over to Rybicki, misses Rybicki. Rybicki gets to it, knocks it back to Miller. Miller puts it up the boards. Nietzsche brings it into the zone. Stick lifted, tag up. Letcher brings it back in. Letcher makes a move around. Puck doesn't come with him though, and Rybicki keeps it in. Bounce off of the board over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche takes just a punch. Storm know that they can just kind of get away with this stuff right now. Miller keeps it in. Nietzsche ties up. Puck makes its way to Miller. Miller over to Rybicki. Rybicki makes a move, gets some clear ice, gets it across for Letcher. Letcher gets it to Miller. Miller through the zone. Aldridge comes on. Puck to Aldridge, cross to Letcher. Letcher puts it in front. Good pass to Chalicki. Chalicki shot saved. Chalicki now working in the corner. Gets the puck back up to Miller. Miller back down to Chalicki. Chalicki. Pass gets intercepted, and that'll be icing. 5:32 to go. Carter, Brown, and Kruger are there. Brown knocks the puck back into the zone. Kruger tags up, puck cross ice. Brown's going to get a roughing. Wasn't really that bad, but even it up. Paulo with Reynolds, Aldridge, and Onak for this kill. Reynolds digs it out. He gets tripped. We're going to go 4-on-4. Paulo's got a breakaway. The shot saved back into the corner and got a whistle. 5:02 to go in the second. Oh, the Russian defenseman going into the box. So 4-on-4, we're going to keep the same personnel. Face-off one back to Onak. Onak gets a shot. Hits off of the blocker and Storm into the neutral zone. Storm carry the puck into the zone. Onak pushes this guy into the corner. They escape, get it behind. Looked like he was going to try Michigan there. Decides to pass it instead. Paulo given some pressure. Puck protection by Storm, get a shot on cutting. Backdoor hits a stick. Storm weren't able to get it out. Reynolds now gets hooked. No call there, as the official wasn't in position. Storm bring it back in. Krzyzkowski's there. He's got Pulauskas with him. Krzyzkowski up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas shot low. And he runs into the net, and we get a whistle. And now we're got 3-on-1. Somebody's stick got broke. I think it was Pulauskas'. So the ref's going to send them both. Pulauskas is going to join Brown in the box. Pulauskas' stick did break. Amici, Campbell, Krzyzkowski with Rybicki as well. So there's 40 seconds to go on the Fury penalty, 53 seconds to go on the Storm penalty. We're going to have a very brief power play. Storm bring the puck in, working off the backboard. Puck comes loose to Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski tries to get the puck out, but it gets gloved back down. Campbell and the Storm get tied up. Puck into the neutral zone now. Krzyzkowski, good stick, knocks the puck away. Storm go behind their own net now. 3:24 to go. 4 seconds. 2-1. Brown comes out, goes onto the bench. Reynolds comes on. Puck in front and covered by Cutting. So 10 seconds, very brief power play. Kruger, Brown, and Carter are going to come back out. Onak and Miller at D. Face-off controlled by Storm. Storm tried to get a shot on, gets knocked into the neutral zone. Carter makes a stutter step, avoids a hit, brings the puck in, puts it on net, gets deflected behind. Kruger gets a hold of it, puts it down low for Carter. Carter battling on the boards. Brown comes over to help. Puck gets knocked behind the net. Good stick. Kruger keeps the puck in. He's got it in the corner. Centering pass for Carter. Gets knocked into the corner. Kruger is there. Kruger battling, puck in some feet. Gets knocked out over to Brown. Brown tries to get a shot, and it gets stopped. Not enough on it. Miller steps in front of that pass. Puck in feet for the Storm. Carter comes over off of the boards. Kruger coming in now to give some pressure. Puck cross ice for the Storm. They're going to send the puck in. 2:19 to go in the period. We're all even now. 5-on-5. Storm up to their D. Shot into Cutting's glove and no rebound. Pulauskas' coincidental is over. Reynolds, Paulo, Pulauskas, Rybicki, and Campbell for the Fury. 2:09, still 1-0 Windy City. Puck knocked back to Campbell. Campbell hard up the boards, finds Pulauskas. Pulauskas tries to kick it. winds up getting the puck back, gets it over to Paulo. Paulo shot is blocked. It goes behind the Windy City goaltender. Puck deflected and into the neutral zone. Rybicki gets that over to Campbell. Campbell back to Rybicki. Rybicki up to Reynolds. Reynolds just decides to send it in. Paulo goes in on the forecheck. Kolauskas behind the net gets a glancing blow off. Storm back in through the neutral zone. Pass over to the far board. Knocked behind. Now brought up the board by Storm. Quick shot on Cutting. And again, save, no rebound. Minute 25 to go. We're going to send out Chalicki, Letcher, Nietzsche, Onak, and Aldrich. Nietzsche takes the draw. Storm win it back. D send it into the corner. Aldridge is there, pushing the guy wide. Puck thrown to the middle of the ice. Letcher gets a hold of it and brings it through the neutral zone. Letcher puts it centering for Chalicki. Chalicki gets a stick on it, goes into his feet. Storm bring it back the other way. Hits off of a player and into the Fury Storm. Onak gets that up to Marty. Bounces off of his skate and onto the board. Letcher over to Aldridge. Aldridge regroups over to Onak. Onak up the ice for Letcher. Hits off of Letcher, and he wasn't quite there, and we'll get an icing. I don't know what happened there. Must have been an equipment thing. No net guard. Quick shot. Glove save. Cutting. Again, no rebound. We're going to line change. Krzyzkowski, Bergeron, Credidio come out to take this draw. Face off. Bounces into some feet. Cleared out and over to the far board. Credidio is there. Puts it back behind for Onak. Onak up the boards for Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski on the near board to Bergeron. Bergeron tries to get a pass over to Credidio. Goes behind him. Storm back in the other way. Puck gets knocked over to Onak. Onak working off of the board. Puck gets chipped off of his stick. Krzyzkowski jams it to the corner. That goes out. Credidio knocks it out to make sure. 11 and a half seconds to go in the second. I'm going to assume we're going to get a nice cut after this period. Face-off won by Krzyzkowski. Gets it over to Aldridge, to Onak. Onak to Burge. Burge chipped it in. Puck to the corner. 3 seconds. Just going to be pinned by Storm. And that'll be the end of the second. So we're going to the ice cut. And we'll be back in, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Enjoy the Zamboni. Oh, we're down to 2. We got a 2-man crew now. Both teams have to agree to a 2-man group. So the other person must have had to go. Hey. All right, so I'll start off the third. We're going to go with Pulauskas, Reynolds, Paulo, Rubicki, and Campbell. We're down to a 2-man officiating crew. Face-off controlled by Storm. They send it back up the boards. It goes over Rubicki. Rubicki cross ice for Campbell. Campbell up to Pulauskas. Gets knocked into the zone. Storm try to get it out. Goes right to Rubicki. Rubicki pass gets deflected, and then the puck underneath the goaltender and covered. Good opportunity as the puck came right in front of the goaltender. He got a shot on, and a good opportunity. I keep the same personnel. Puck knocked over to Campbell. Campbell to Paulo. Paulo gets a shot. It gets deflected off of the goaltender, and it almost bounces back at him, and he has to glove it above the net. Pretty good awareness by the goaltender here. Paulo takes the draw. Reynolds is offset. Puck bounces over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas centering pass. Goaltender just gets a glove on that puck. It goes back the other way. Storm bringing it into the zone. Gets knocked aside. Puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds, puck gets knocked into the corner. Rubicki takes it back from behind, cutting over to Paulo. Paulo chips it to Campbell. Campbell ahead for Pulauskas. Pulauskas off the boards. Puck goes deep. Reynolds comes over to help. Puck hard up to Nietzsche. Nietzsche's come on for Paulo. Gets it over to Aldridge. Aldridge back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets it out of the zone. Stormer offsides. Puck goes across to Onak. Onak carries the puck in. Chalicki comes on. Letcher is out. Puck deflects off of the goaltender and out of play. 16:45 to go in the game. Aldridge and Onak at D with Nietzsche, Chalicki, and Letcher. Letcher and Chalicki change sides. Nietzsche takes the draw, wins it over to Letcher. Letcher bounces off of the ice over Aldridge's stick. Aldridge gets the puck back and tries to send it off of the glass. It doesn't quite go. Puck now battling. Knocks away from a few people back into the neutral zone. The ice is not in good shape. There's divots and ruts all over. Chalicki just hit one and fell. Miller comes on for Onak. They'll, and the Storm player just hit an edge, and Michi fell into him. Puck deflected and out of play. Kruger, Carter, and Brown come out onto the ice. 16:01 to go in the game. Campbell joins Miller. Kruger chips that puck up to Carter. Carter carries it forward, gets past, puck into the corner now. Carter there. Storm put it back into the corner. Brown battling, Kruger battling, puck still off the board. Puck goes behind the net. Gage puts it up for off of his stick. Storm regroup. Storm send it in behind Cutting. Campbell is there. Over to Miller. Miller up for Carter. Gives a pass for Kruger. Kruger carries in. Gets knocked away. Brown changes. Credidio comes on. Carter gets that puck over to Miller. Miller puts it in front. It goes through the crease over to Campbell on the far side. Puck goes past Campbell into the neutral zone for Miller. Another Storm player hits a rut and falls. And we're going to say Credidio was offside. Kishkowski, Credidio, and Bergeron with Aldridge and Rybicki. 14:53 to go in the game. Kishkowski wins that puck back to Aldridge. Cross ice for Rybicki. Rybicki dumps. It's going to go back behind. Credidio tries to get a shot. Get it on. Puck now makes its way to Credidio. Credidio goes for a centering pass to Rybicki. To Kishkowski, it makes its way to Rybicki, and then over to Aldridge, and Aldridge dumps it in. Storm coming from behind their goaltender up the far board. Credidio comes over to get some pressure. Puck gets lost in skates of one of the Storm players and knocked back to Rybicki. Rybicki to Aldridge up the near board, looking to pass that to Credidio, and makes its way back to the Storm. Storm send a stretch pass across, hits off of Credidio, goes into the Fury zone. Rybicki plays it for Burge. Burge tries to play it up for Rybicki. Misses Rybicki, but Kishkowski is there. Kishkowski's pass goes underneath Credidio, and that's an icing. $13:58 left in the third. Paulo, Reynolds, and Pulauskas come on. Miller and Onak at D. Puck dropped. It bounces past a couple of guys over to Reynolds. Reynolds gets it to Pulauskas. Pulauskas enters the zone with Onak. Onak came in front. Shot by Reynolds goes wide off of the goaltender. Pass to Reynolds in front. Reynolds gets a shot and ties it up. So Reynolds from Pulauskas, and it's 1-1. Same group out there. Reynolds or Pulauskas takes the Paulo takes the draw and he's up. Pulauskas tries to help dig it out. Storm send it in the Fury zone. Cutting knocks that one behind him. Onak is there. Paulo helping in the corner. Puck comes loose to Miller. Reynolds tries to chip it out. Kept in by Storm. Fans on the shot and then into the neutral zone. Storm has to wait to tag up. Reynolds collides with a Storm player. They go and regroup and send it in. Campbell gets that puck from behind. Stick is broken, and we're going to get a power play here because that is going to go as a slash. Campbell to Nietzsche, Nietzsche back to Campbell, over to Rybicki. So Chilicki, Brown, and Nietzsche were out there for the six-man attack. Puck gets knocked away, and the power play will go. 2 minutes for slashing. 12:38 to go in the game. Letcher, Chilicki, and Nietzsche go out there. Onak and Campbell at D. Some last-second instruction from the bench there, and Campbell and Onak come out. Nietzsche comes to get the information from Campbell. Puck tied up underneath comes up to Campbell. Campbell puts it down deep for Chilicki. Chilicki tries to chip it to Letcher. Storm get a hold of it and send it all the way down. Cutting. Leaves it for Onak. Onak takes it behind the net. Onak over to Letcher. Letcher enters the zone. Puck to the corner. Letcher avoids a hit. Nietzsche comes over to help. Puck comes free. Storm through the neutral zone. Gets past Onak. Chilicki gets back. Ties up. Cutting. Gets a couple of saves on. Nietzsche now through the neutral zone. Carries in wide. Gets tied up. Puck to Chilicki in the corner. Chilicki works it up to Rybicki. Rybicki across for Miller. Miller shot and save. Letcher takes a couple of hits. 11:38 to go in the game. 1 minute to go in the power play. We'll get a change with Reynolds, Paulo, and Polauskas. Rybicki and Miller stay at D. Paulo working. Storm come away with it and send it down. Cutting. Plays it for Rybicki. Rybicki has some pressure, so he puts it back down to Miller. Miller comes from behind the net. Chips it over to Reynolds. Reynolds cross ice for Paulo. Paulo tries to get a puck in. Storm get in the way, and they send it back down. Miller to Paulo. To Rybicki. Rybicki carries in. Pass to Miller. Miller given some room. Backhand shot off of the goaltender's glove and out of play. Polauskas to take the draw. Bounces and then hits off of the official. Puck goes to the backboard. Storm try to tie it up. It comes free. Finally over to the corner for the Storm. Pass, looking to spring a man. Campbell gets in front of it. Escapes and regroups. We're even now. 10:32 to go. Puck to Onak. Onak to Polauskas. Polauskas carrying through. Tries to get past the defender. Storm behind that. Polauskas takes a dive off of Aldridge into the zone. Onak is there. Centering pass. Kruger chips it over to Polauskas. Polauskas up for Kruger. Kruger with Reynolds. Carter comes on. Puck gets knocked away from Kruger. Storm come from behind. Try to, that's a dangerous play. Kruger had a puck. Brown comes on to help cross ice for Storm. They get off the far board and through the middle of the neutral zone. Carter pushes the man off puck, goes over to Campbell. Campbell, Carter off the board, chipped over to Brown. Brown to Kruger. Kruger sends it in, goes into the corner. Kruger and Brown trying to dig that out. Carter comes over to help. Puck goes up over. Brown keeps it in, chips it in deep. Kruger is there. Kruger puts some pressure on. Storm sends it up towards Miller. Miller puts it back into the zone. Storm through the neutral zone and in. Try to dump a pass off. Shot deflects off of Cutting into the corner. Brown is there. Campbell helping. Puck now behind. Carter blocks the shot. He's off. Carter going to get an opportunity for a shot. High. Hits off of the blocker onto the glass. Kushkowski pushes that over to Rybicki. Rybicki sends it back down for Kushkowski, but Storm player knocks it into the neutral zone. Rybicki's pass hits off of a stick. Still in the zone, Credidio keeps it in. Credidio's shot is blocked and goes behind the net. Storm try to clear it out. It gets past Aldridge and goes for icing. So the ice being in bad shape is causing quite a few bounces. Bergeron gets a stick on it, bounces, goes underneath feet, and Storm try to get a pass over, but it goes over to Aldridge. Aldridge sends the puck in, goes around for Credidio on the far side. Kushkowski pushes a pass to Bergeron and gets blocked, and the Storm enter the zone. Centering pass, 2 passes, just missed. Credidio puts his guy into the boards. Puck goes high, kept in, hits off of Bergeron. Our hand pass is called. I think the ref just missed that one, but I'll take it. We get a stoppage and a neutral zone faceoff. Good tie up by Paulo. Paulo, Pulauskas, and Reynolds are out there. Shot in on Cutting. He leaves it for Miller. Miller gets it across for Pulauskas. Pulauskas does well to avoid some traffic and carries the puck back. Tries to pass, and it gets stuck. Onak tries to pass it. It deflects and into the zone, and the official calls an icing. Their guy hit it. The officials confer. All right, so they just leave it as is. 7:57 to go. Still 1-1. Storm win that faceoff. They go D to D. Get a shot. It's blocked by Pulauskas. Pulauskas pushes it over to Miller. Miller tries to get that up to Reynolds. Intercepted by Storm. Storm send it back in deep. Back behind Cutting. Cutting slows it down. Miller gets there. Tries to get that puck over to Paulo. Gets deflected. Puck now to Storm. They fan on a shot. Paulo gets it up for Pulauskas, but misses. Pulauskas, good stick. Pushes the puck to the neutral zone. Reynolds picks it up. Reynolds. Pass for Pulauskas goes behind him. Storm in the neutral zone now. Onak gets a body on. Reynolds gets the puck to Campbell. Paulo gets the puck to Campbell. Campbell to Reynolds. Reynolds through the neutral zone. Nietzsche's joined him with Letcher. Corner. Flipped up. Avoid all of the lights and bars, which is amazing. Nietzsche flips it to Letcher. Letcher tries to get a pass back to Nietzsche. Hits off of a couple players. Centering pass. Intercepted by Storm back the other way. Chilicki comes on now for Reynolds. Cross-ice pass for Storm miss. Chilicki takes it away. Chilicki into the neutral zone with Nietzsche. Shilicki puck bounces away from him, and we get an icing or an offside. 6:29 to go in the game. Nietzsche to take the draw. Face-off drop. Everybody ties up, and Fury come away with it. Campbell sends it in, but Storm are there. Letcher tries to knock the puck away. Storm back through the neutral zone. Taking it on the right side centering pass, deflects off Campbell, does a nice job being in the way, making sure that they don't get an easy shot. Shot off Cuttings, gets a pad save, another block, puck underneath Cutting, and he covers, then Nietzsche gets shoved onto Cutting. .602 to go. We'll get a line change. Carter, Brown, and Kruger come out. Onak and Aldridge at D. Face off one back. Shot in front. Gets blocked. Onak kicks it to Brown. Brown puts it forward. It's going to go on net, and Storm have to cover it. Carter snows the goaltender a little bit. Same personnel. Kruger pushes that puck to the corner. He gets to it first. Tries to get it up to Aldridge. He gets tied up. Brown comes over to help. Puck does go to Aldridge. Shot high off of the glass over to the far board. Onak gets to it. Avoids a couple of hits. Centering pass gets deflected. Aldridge takes it to the neutral zone. Aldridge sends it in, and it misses. Goes for an icing. So 5:26 to go. We'll get another line change with Kushkowski, Credidio, and Bergeron. Aldridge and Miller at D. Face off to the corner. Storm try to center. Aldridge gets in the way. Gets the puck to Credidio. Credidio to Bergeron. Bergeron chips it forward. Goes on net, bouncing, and goaltender just keeps it on his pad there. Get a whistle. .513 to go. Kushkowski squares up. Face off, hits off of the official over to the sideboard. Bergeron is there. Puck gets dug out. Storm carry in with 3. Credidio comes on the back check for the far side guy. Gets there and avoids a backdoor shot. Storm send it into the netting. Polauskas, Paulo, Bergeron, Miller, and Campbell. 4:55 to go in the game. 1-1. Puck gets knocked over to Miller. Miller working it on the sideboard. Does come loose into the neutral zone. Paulo gets it, digs it out. Campbell has a hold of it. Campbell brings it in. Reynolds comes on. Campbell in the corner. puts it for Reynolds. Reynolds tries to center, goes through the crease and out. Paulo. I don't know what happened. Net's off. So net gets knocked off, and we'll get an end zone face-off. All right. An argument was made, and they went into the neutral zone. All right, now they're saying it's going all the way. I don't know why. Unless they're saying we knocked the net off. Oh, face-off won by Paulo to Campbell. Hard around for Pulauskas. Pulauskas gets a stick on it, bounces to the neutral zone, and Storm come up the near board with it. Good skates by Campbell as he kicks that one. Puck deflects in front and beats Cutting. Shalicki, Nishi, Letcher come out after the goal. Aldridge and Rabicki at D. Oh, shot from the D that's deflected in front and in. Rabicki flicks that puck out. One of the Storm players touch it. So a Storm bench player puts his hand down and touches it, and that error gives us an end zone faceoff where it would have been an icing. Storm win that faceoff. Good job by Rabicki to get a skate on that, keep it in. Nietzsche puts it through the crease. The far side, Storm get it into the neutral zone and then dump it in. 3:39 to go in the game. Centering pass bounces off the Cutting stick. Storm send it back deep. Letcher gets a hold of it, flips it up in the air for Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets a stick on it. Good job by Shalicki to get another stick on it, dump it into the corner. Nietzsche to Shalicki, back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets a shot. Shoulder save by the goaltender. Shalicki sends it up to Miller. Miller walks the line. Shot in front. Gets deflected. And then sent for an icing. 3:07 to go. We'll get a change. Carter, Kruger, and Brown. Onak come testing out his ankle, looks like. Campbell and Miller at D. Kruger squares up, take the face off here. Comes out from below, makes its way to Campbell. Campbell sends it back deep for Kruger. Kruger tries to center, intercepted by Storm. Carter gets a big hit on. Puck gets past Miller. Brown is back, gets a stick on it, slows up Storm. Cutting plays it for Brown. Brown, hard around. Puck gets deflected and into the netting. Reynolds, Paulo, and Polauskas come back on the ice. .243 to go in the game. Paulo ties up his man. Storm tried to early jump that drop. Puck flipped into the bench. Should be a neutral zone faceoff. Puck bouncing, makes its way over to Miller. Miller to Reynolds, tried to chip it in. Stopped by the Storm. Storm now enter, 2 men on. Paulo coming back. Really late. Really late lunge at cutting there. Hostilities cool down. We'll do a face-off. 2:19 to go. 2-1 Storm. Miller puts it around for Reynolds. Bounces off of Reynolds' stick. Goes down behind cutting as the Storm send it back in. Campbell to Miller. Miller tried to pass it to Paulo. Bounced off Paulo's stick. Storm back up into the neutral zone. Miller gets there first. Paulo gets a hit on. Puck over to Campbell. Campbell to Miller. Miller gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds to Paulo. Paulo gets taken down. Polauskas brings it in. Puck gets knocked away. Letcher comes on. Nietzsche comes on. Empty net for Fury. Miller has to tie up. Storm get a shot. Hits off the post. And then the rebound gets tapped in. A minute 26 to go. Kredidio, Kushkowski, Bergeron come on the ice with Aldridge and Rubicki. Kushkowski wins that faceoff, but then Storm gets to the puck first after it goes behind him. Kredidio in the corner, chips past one of the Storm players, now coming through. Gets a pass up to Bergeron. Bergeron sends it on net, hits off of the goaltender into the corner. Kushkowski working off of the sideboard. Bergeron comes over to help. Kredidio takes it into neutral ice. Tries to get it up to Aldridge. Storm send it in on cutting. And an errant whistle by the official will get a center ice faceoff. Puck chipped up to Kredidio. Kredidio tries to get it out. Puck comes loose behind Bergeron. Storm trying to eat up clock here. They go D to D. Up into the neutral zone. Cross ice for Storm, and they are going to, offsides. It looked offsides. 16 seconds to go. We'll send out Carter, Brown, and Kruger. Storm will get a change as well. Puck bounces over to Carter. Carter gets it to Rubicki. Knocked aside by Storm. Puck up to Kruger. Kruger takes a hit into the bench. Storm just hold on and send it down deep. And that's the end of the game. The Storm take the first game. We got another game tomorrow. All right. Well, 3-1 Storm, and we'll see you all tomorrow.